So, I was having fun playing Susanoo, the best deck in the game. Revealing Goddess of the Sun whenever I decided to, because, it was always on top of my deck. And I was also just ripping critical triggers like there was no tomorrow. But that's when some astral force struck my brain and increased my IQ by maybe a few billion brain cells and said,
"Hey, this card exists."
So?
Hey, this card also exists.
No, it doesn't. This is Deck Support Report, or Deck Report for short, where I look back at old bosses in the current format with new support to see how they hold up. With creative deck building, I want to find ways to help these old boomer bosses keep up with their newer, more power-crept cards that are meant to replace them. There will be lots of trial and error, of course, and suffering along the way. So there's that. So the deck today will be built around Tsukuyomi Turbo, which involves getting Tsukuyomi's grade 3 ability off as quick and as efficiently as possible. Tsukuyomi has the ability where if you have 3 different cards with Tsukuyomi's name in the soul, you're able to draw 3 cards, check the top 5 cards of your deck, and select up to 2 cards to stack on top. This means that if you're going first, you just get to skillfully steal the game. So I'll be going through the deck building process, showing what I don't like, showing what I do like. I'll be showcasing at least 3 of the deck builds that I tried, but there were more. I just don't want to show them. That is, unless someone would actually like to hear about Luckbird Turbo. Okay, so my first idea was to take Eurelia out of the deck. I don't like her. I don't like relying on her, and so that's what I did. See, because with this new order card, you can throw a grade 1 or 2 Tsukuyomi in the soul, and just stack your way to victory. No, really, it doesn't shuffle your deck. It's like it was made for this. I mean, I guess you're looking at this and going like, 4 grade 3. Well, I thought it was no problem, just throw the orders on board, stuff those Tsukuyomis into the soul, call it a day. It worked like a charm, until it didn't, which really is just this deck in a nutshell. Because when you get the ride chain, it only took 1 order to get that Tsukuyomi soul. However, when you don't get the ride chain, maybe get 1 at least, and you just need 2 orders, but if you get none of them, you'll probably need to re-ride, which, as of this set, especially if you're going second, you're not really gonna do. That's already bad. Or you need to get 3 orders, which, do note, each order is a net -1 in card advantage for each use. So at that point, you should just raise your arms towards your opponent, give him a handshake, take your bag and leave locals. Just better luck next week, right? Or we could try something else. Clearly, that first build had too much cheese, Put all its eggs in one basket. Alright, so I thought, what if I throw Eurelia back in? Jump back on that train, Simp Eurelia or whatever. So this will give the deck 2 ways. Turboing Tsukuyomi, which in theory should increase the consistency of fixing the ride chain. Well, yeah, that looks very promising. I'll also be able to throw another deer in there for good measure. All reliable. Since Eurelia's ability is that anytime I look at the deck, I get to soul charge 1. I had to add some more cards in there that would let me do that. I would have to take out Battle Sister Kasata in my grade 1 lineup and replace it with Director Angel or maybe Kuwari Magus. This is preference based because they do pretty similar things. Now, I kinda already knew where this deck was gonna go, because it just kinda made me proceed to relive the nightmare that was playing Tsukuyomi Turbo with Eurelia. That is, it just is very uncomfortable. You feel like you can't make a move. Basically, if you have a piece in your hand for your Urayli combo or your order combo at this point, you can't use them until, you get the full combo going. Like, you'll have a full hand, maybe you could rush, or you'll have some other play you want to make, but you kind of have to dedicate it all to Tsukuyomi. So meanwhile, while you're sitting there, your opponent kind of has free reign to bash your face in, and by the time you're ready to make your play, maybe Luard already has like 10 force markers, and oh boy, he's turning Morfessa sideways. I mean, even with 2 tools trying to up consistency, the order enough is already piece-based as it is. Urayli is also like that, so at this point you're kind of held back from doing anything. Like, this deck isn't bad by any means, but I just don't find it very fun to use, or it just doesn't feel right when you're playing it. Alright, so instead of relying on Urayli and having 2 different piece-based combos going on, what if I just throw in Susanoo in there and call it a day? Like, if I miss the ride chain, Tsukuyomi is a bad ride, so I'll just go into my backup ride. And really, I feel like I'm kind of breaking the rules a bit, but he's a backup, so it's probably fine. But yeah, it just kind of feels right. Like, playing the other decks, if you don't get the ride chain, you kind of just feel like you need to give up, unless some miracle happens where you get it, like, from a top deck or something. Really, with this one, if you don't get it, you just have to find Susanoo and there you go. Though I guess the issue here is, since this deck is built around Tsukuyomi and not Susanoo, he's kind of bad. Or I guess the right way to say it is worse. You kind of just feel like you're playing a discount Susanoo instead of like the real big boy Susanoo. Like, I mean, I guess he just works well enough, like, that if your deck build is burning down because you missed a ride chain, you may as well just start relying on him and start playing him as if he's the main boss. Which, clearly isn't breaking the rules because this deck is still built around Tsukuyomi, so... But yeah, no complaints here. Kinda gives the freedom that the first deck build gave. Gives the backup option that the second deck build wanted to do. And not insta-losing for missing a ride chain is pretty much an all-around good deal. But yeah, I really don't know how to feel about this deck. Like, I had the script written out and everything, and I felt like I was being too harsh on it. I played some games, got the ride chain, and really agreed, yeah, I was pretty harsh. But then after that, I played a few more games, and then I was like, maybe run 4 grade 1s, only just run Tsukuyomi, and commit G-assist, I don't know. In the end, I don't think there's a way to make this deck feel as good as Susanoo, but it's almost equal, maybe better if you do get the right chain. It just has problems with consistency, banking on that single grade 1 each time. I mean, even with the help of the order cards, even with Urayli, it's just not consistent enough. And because of that, I'll be rating it a 1 out of 3 Tsukuyomis in Seoul, because that's usually what I get.